My guest is Mark Henry, and you might know Mark from any number of pursuits that he's engaged in quite successfully. He's been a powerlifting champion. He's been to the Olympics in the Olympic style lifting. He's a WWE Hall of Famer, and he's been the world's strongest man. He's one of the strongest men that's ever lived. But today he's sitting down to talk about a few other things that he's involved in now since he retired from the WWE. And one of the reasons he's in town is to go to a Tarrant County middle school with some veterans, Medal of Honor recipients, to talk to kids. And when you go to a school like this, what's your goal? What are you trying to leave those kids with?
I want to get their attention so they can have some focus. And I want to bring out something in them that they didn't know was there, because sometimes it's hard to look in the mirror and say, you know, what am I good at? Because we always want to do everything. I just knew that I was going to be Magic Johnson. I knew basketball was going to be my dream. That was going to be the thing that I made my success at. But I'm 6'4", and there's not many Hall of Fame centers at 6'4". So I had to find inside me what was special and own it, love it, and nurture it and work hard at it. And I'm kind of crazy when it comes to working, and I'm the worst loser in the world. And that is not a bad thing. You know, some people get on you about, oh man, you're too serious. You know, you come on, it's just a game. No, it's not. Like, I want to be successful. And if I'm successful, then it's a profession. And so the kids need to know.
The Tribute to Valor Foundation is who Mark is working with on this, and it involves Medal of Honor recipients coming in, talking to kids about STEM pursuits as well as character education. How important are those two things? Why do those go together well in the messages you guys are delivering to these students?
Well, I mean, the math and the science leads to success, and it's important for all kids to know about the ecosystem, to know about how plants and animals and from a cellular level grow, and how to know how to make batteries out of potatoes, and realize that that is a possibility. And my kids come home with these projects and I can't believe it. And I'm like, where was this when I was growing up? I feel like I got gypped. You know, so anybody that's doing STEM activities and helping our kids to be at the forefront of science and math in the world to make this planet better, I'm all for it.
The sort of academic pursuits that you're into now, one of them is a documentary film. And I'm curious to hear about this because it sounds like a fascinating subject. Obviously, you've got the background in wrestling, and this has something to do with it. How did you get involved in this, and tell us the nature of it?
The main guy is John Cosper. John Cosper wrote a book about the real Black Panther. And the real Black Panther is a guy named Jim Mitchell from Louisville, Kentucky. He was the guy that broke the color barrier in wrestling in the 20s and 30s. And he was born in '09 and grew up and was a soldier, by the way. And in a time when the soldier's role as an African American was more setting up and cleaning up and fixing, and you know, he didn't really get a chance to be an officer. But Jim would have made a great officer. He kept meticulous notes. He was a pipe collector. People used to send him pipes from all over the world. Like, he was a Renaissance man. He was a cook. He used to cook for the soldiers when he got a chance to show them a recipe of how they cooked in Middle America. And he was a special guy. And he was the cause of me starting to investigate more on the history of the African American wrestler. And man, I went back to 1897, and wrestling has been around a long time. And believe it or not, there were slaves that played roles in wrestling, and we go from there all the way to now.
It's an amazing bit of progress. What do you hope to do with this? What's the eventual goal for what this is going to look like at the end?
Well, just to show people, you kind of got to know where you came from to know where you're going. And there's a lot of people that are kind of spoiled and don't realize how many dues have been paid by other people for you to, have the life that you live. We're blessed to be able to make the living that we made in wrestling, and I want African American wrestlers to appreciate it, but I also want them to honor the ones that didn't have a name or a face. And hopefully with this project, that'll be done.
One of the guys that you worked for that I would say maybe helped you get you was a guy named Vince McMahon, runs WWE. He's got a new thing he's trying, although it's not really new. He tried it once before, this XFL. Knowing what you know about him and how he runs his business, what's your take on what he's going to do with this incarnation of that football league?
Vince is a winner, and we always use the term boss or leader. Sometimes it kind of comes into like a negative thing. I don't understand that. I never did. You need leadership. You need somebody that's willing to stand up front and have the bullets fly at them. For everybody else to say, well, if he could do it, I could do it too. And you stand up. And I've learned a lot from Vince. And, we look at football today. I don't consider the XFL the first time being a failure, even though a lot of people said that it failed. You look at the camera system that we use in the NFL today, they took that from the XFL. And there's a lot of rules that have been changed in football with trying to get rid of the kickoffs and punt returns because they didn't want the serious collisions to hurt athletes. Like, that was the XFL. And so I look forward to them innovating even more this time. With all the things that you see now in professional sports, I think that Vince will be able to find his way and elevate the game again.
Everybody that's at the forefront of something, whether it's somebody in the documentary, whether it's somebody like you just alluded to that literally has the bullets flying at them, they have to risk something and they have to try new things to make progress. And so it sounds like that's a lot of the stuff that you're involved in, is helping people make progress.
Yeah, I want to see people do well. I've never been very stingy. I never wanted a lot materialistically. I want experiences. I want to have a good time. I'm pretty fun to be around.
I can tell this.
I'm a clown. I like to have a ball. And I want other people to have a ball. But, in order to have a ball and to play, you got to get the work done. And once you get the work done, man, I'm telling you what, I'm organizing the fun before we even finish with the work, But it's important to be able to relax and have a good time and get to know people and find out who they are. It just makes life better, and that's ultimately what everybody's trying to do. We're trying to make life better for people education-wise. Try to make life better for people that have suffered and have afflictions and illnesses and handicaps. You want to make sure that people aspire to greatness, because I've seen some of the guys with bionic prosthetics and knees and legs that operate off a computer chip. And if we don't have more people that are aspiring to create things like that, then we're going to suffer. And that's not what I want. I want success, and I want a level of success that is transcendent, that where our soldiers that get injured will be able to do things that can help the blind see. Man, can you imagine if somebody can create something to help a blind man see? Like that, that's the kind of technology I want our kids and people in the future to be able to have. And it's going to take the math and sciences to be elevated for that to happen.
Amazing. Well, we've enjoyed getting to know you with Mark Henry.
Thank you, man.
Fort Worth Weekly. I'm Rush Olson.